Your next comic comes to stage. Start clapping right now for David Vogel. David, here he is.
Hey, thank you for the kindly introduction. And thank God that's over. And it isn't that I have a principle against kindly introductions. It's that my surname is the ugliest sound in the Indo-European language group. Vogel. That's a name with a hunchback and a club foot. Dr. Vogel. That's a name with hair growing out of its forehead and one eye that points at the wall. My therapist says there's nothing wrong with my name because there's no umlaut in it. But she doesn't understand. I've spent the last 12 years in third world countries. Now, you can tell Georgia from third world countries because we keep the chickens in cages. But yeah, I'll tell you about roosters running around loose. They don't say cock-a-doodle-doo. They say, Dr. Vogel! I still haven't recovered from 12 years of sleeplessness. I don't want to give you the wrong idea here. I'm not a real doctor. Hell, I'm not even a real dentist. I'm just a PhD, and I'm really too sober a guy to be standing up here doing comedy. It's not my passion, it's my fate. Every time I meet somebody and we start, telling each other the things you tell about yourself, they start laughing. Well, I was born in Weed Patch, California. That's a fact. I could lie about it. I could say I was born a mile down the road in Pumpkin Center. Wouldn't be the blackest white lie I ever told. But it wouldn't be the truth neither. Pumpkin Center, Weed Patch, Ford City, Hangtown. Those are places that were settled by the Okies when they came out to California during the Dust Bowl. Them Okies, they weren't took in by names like Linda Vista or Belle Plaine. They knew a fucking weed patch when they saw one. I grew up with a bunch of CIOs. That's a California Improved Okie. You don't want to call them that, though. They'll get riled up. They'll scream at you. There ain't no such thing as an Improved Okie. I always let it rest right there. But I always wondered, too, whether they meant Okies are so near perfect that you can't improve on them, or so hopeless that there's no point in trying. I went to high school in a town called Taft. The Taft used to be called Moron. But they needed a post office during Taft's administration. I guess Moron was already took. My friends and I, we never went along with the name change, though. We all said we went to Moron High. On Friday nights, we'd go to the games and cheer for the fighting morons. Give me an M. Give me a... Our football team didn't have fullback, halfback, and quarterback. They had 8th, 16th, and 32nd backs. Our basketball team didn't have forward, it had backwards. Instead of a center, they had an eccentric. They did have a couple of guys that could dribble pretty well. They could dribble out of both sides of their mouths at the same time. I actually met a couple of those guys again at our 50th reunion, and you got to give them credit. They were still dribbling. Not out of their mouths anymore, though out of a different organ. So that's my life, Every day the gods twist my life around in a way to give them some amusement for the day. And as I grew older, I figured you might laugh along with them. Now, I'll tell you, if I've acquired any wisdom with growing older, then wisdom ain't what you thought it was. Because all that's happened to me growing older is I've come up with more things that I don't understand. A longer and longer list of them. Some of those things are really big issues, you know, like what's the meaning of life? Well, I never understood that, but now I know I don't understand the question either. But some of them are just little things, you know, like, well, everybody up here had a porn joke, and that made me just wonder, why don't porn stars have sponsors? It's more like an athletic event than theater, you know. And you know, I wonder about all kinds of little things, like why have they changed the shape of toilet seats? You know, oh my God, I've seen the light. Thank you, everybody, and may you never suffer the consequence of your own ambition.